We got this guy. He's been talking about me for a while, for about 2 or 3 years. Disrespecting me, disrespecting my dad.
Fight fans, welcome back.
So now, he wanted to take it personal with me. So I'm personally gonna break his mouth so he has something to remember me by. I don't know why people think that David Morrell is gonna scare me or his power, man. I've been around this my whole life. Now,
bro, I don't give a f whatever you say, shut up, okay?
Everybody say he's the best, he's great, whatever. But, bro, that impressed me. You know, like,
With boxing set for a refresh, a New Year dose of destruction promises to get 2025 off to a bang.
Boom, baby! The biggest problem is this. All the money is in Canelo Alvarez. But the best fight is probably Benavidez versus Morrell.
Two hard-hitting world title operators
With David Morrell!
bubbling with belief, putting their unbeaten records on the line, imbued with the confidence of victory, dismissing any possibility of defeat.
Mike Tyson gave me that name, the Mexican Monster. What do you think I'm gonna do?
the Mexican Monster.
Who?
Benavidez.
A Mexican monster who hunts them down, grinds them up, and spits them out.
The undefeated David Benavidez!
I just love his attitude, you know, he's just gonna keep fighting these guys, whoever they put in front of him, in order to get the big fights, you know, so.
Facing a Cuban caliente who brings the heat and backs down from nothing.
Oh my goodness!
Everybody say the boogeyman, like I want to fight the best division is him. I'm ready for everybody, like I'm open for everything.
New weight class, similar objectives, chasing the same opponents.
I'm waiting for him to send me the contract. Them bitches know what's up. I'm right here waiting for him.
This is Benavidez versus Morrell, a closer look. Welcome to a Motivedia presentation. After 12 rounds of trying, David Benavidez was unable to get rid of a tricky former world champion and old sparring partner,
Gvozdyk.
Benavidez and his opponent. Gvozdyk, yes.
Right now, Benavidez made an announcement. He will step up and fight Gvozdyk.
Benavidez going up to 175, fighting Alexander Gvozdyk.
The weirdest fight I've ever seen.
Why is that?
Gvozdyk's a very good fighter.
I don't know if he knows exactly what he's chewing off.
I was in the Ukraine a couple weeks ago. You are very, very popular everywhere I go. Where's Usyk? Where's Lomachenko? Where's Gvozdyk?
Guy who was a bronze medalist from the Olympics, from the same camp as the great fighters Usyk and Lomachenko, from the same stable.
He's a very decorated fighter, decorated amateur, great ex-world champion. His only loss was to Beterbiev.
You shared the ring with David and you shared the ring with Alexander. I found out yesterday.
Yeah.
Line would be great. TSC Boxing Club, break it down.
I'm leaning more towards Alexander Gvozdyk.
Really?
Yeah, because David's not used to taking big punches from bigger guys.
Right hand on the jaw, pinpoint accuracy.
Because this kid is a very good counter puncher. He can crack too. He put Don Stevenson in the coma.
But he actually knocked out Adonis Steven, one of the most fierce light heavyweight champions in recent memory.
So it's like David gonna have to be careful. He ain't just be able to walk in and do what he normally do.
I'm really excited to fight on such a big card. Pay-per-view, Las Vegas. I see all the banners. I see my face.
You were very frank and open with me in saying that in sparring with Gvozdyk up in Oxnard a while back, you had some difficulty.
You guys sparred each other before. Like,
yes.
What was that? Just back then, how long ago? What was the details?
It was a long time ago, maybe 7 years ago.
I think you kind of misheard me a little, or I probably didn't explain myself right. I seen difficulty, but I got over that hump. And that's why Alexander Gvozdyk told you that I got the better of him.
I have no excuses, yeah. He was better.
You said he dominated this fight?
Yeah, he dominated.
Why was he able to?
I spar him. He's a very skilled fighter, very
He has the ability to absorbing punches very good.
David, why was now the right time for you to move up from super middleweight to light heavy?
But this is the right time to move up to super light heavyweight because I did everything I could do at 168.
You are the youngest champion in the sport of boxing right now. Your folks are happy about that, as are you.
I did everything I could do at 168. I've been there for 10 years. But the only other thing I had to achieve was, you know, fighting for the unified world titles. And Canelo Alvarez is holding all of them.
We don't know about it. This guy don't bring me any legacy. Because my legacy is already there.
Right.
And I fight with everybody already. With the great Hall of Famer and everything.
Canelo, hell of a fighter. But my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. If it was up to me, we want to see Benavidez.
I want to see Canelo Benavidez. It's the best fight that can be made at the weight class for the undisputed title. And then the winner should fight Morrell.
I don't need to prove anything with anybody. He brings nothing to the table for me. It's just he brings just 25 pounds more in the night, the fight on the night.
With a Canelo fight seemingly impossible to make, David sought other challenges, refusing to follow the path of those before who have stifled their careers, waiting for a big opportunity.
You're not out there saying, Canelo, what do I have to do on your lawn? You're just sort of like, all right, you don't want the smoke? I'm making my own name here.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I want to make my own lane. I don't want to just be that fighter waiting for Canelo. I was trying to do that at 168. I was trying to unify the titles, but I didn't get that opportunity. So I came up to 175. I'm going to continue being dominant force in whatever weight class I'm in.
Looking impressive in the first half, turning functional in the second half, David took his opportunity to acclimate to 175 by dominating a defensively minded foe.
First 6-7 rounds, he looked stellar. I mean, letting everything go. He hurt Gvozdyk over and over and over again. Body shot here in the second half. Three-punch combination lands.
Benavidez dominated the fight early, first 7-8 rounds, whatever it was.
It was interesting to see Benavidez fight somebody just as big as he is. That was pretty entertaining to watch.
So in the beginning, David was styling on him.
Time right there at the bell.
But the second half didn't really reflect the first half.
Just Benavidez wasn't as that explosive guy that he normally is when he's really dogging these dudes.
The Benavidez that systematically beat up and almost halted Caleb Plant, hammered away at Anthony Durrell, or the steam train that rushed through Demetrius Andrade, no longer applied.
Yeah, because he's fighting a guy who can take his shots.
Sometimes having a lot of those amateur fights,
See, when you're fighting those little guys, David breaks them down and then he overwhelms them in the later rounds. But now he's in there with a guy just as big as him, and he had to work so hard.
Light heavyweight is a hard nut to crack. It's even harder to knock out someone who doesn't want to be stopped.
The Mexican monster, David!
But some collective eyebrows were raised when Benavidez's power did not seamlessly carry up 7 pounds.
Hell no. His power didn't carry up with him at all at 175 pounds.
For him to be at 75, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'll go down to 68 and chill there.
You saw him, David was hitting with them shots?
From both.
He wasn't even budging Alexander.
He do nothing in 175, really. No, he's not the same, but he's weight class.
What'd you make of Benavidez's performance?
All right. You know, I like Benavidez. I think he's a good fighter. How good? You know.
I think it was 8 weeks left to the fight, and then I tore the tendon here.
I suffered a cut in my eye, this one that I have right here. I had a torn tendon on my right hand, and I didn't think I was going to make it tonight, but, you know, we pushed through it. And at that point, I was really just trying to push myself mentally because I had 2 injured hands. He has a lot of experience, but, you know, I went in there and I dominated every single round, even with the cut, 2 messed up hands, so that speaks volumes about my name, so. At the end of the day, this is the type of stuff that you got to deal with, and that's what gives me more experience coming into this fight.
But his next opponent has also elevated alongside the Phoenix Man, and inside the ropes, he'll be far less difficult to locate.
Listen, David Morrell. Woo! He can fight.
And an uppercut, down goes Rankin!
As quickly as David Benavidez chased Canelo, he had his own streetcar hot on the tail.
Big shot from Morrell.
Let us know what that was, and I just think he's hoping for the best here, but he just does not have the defense to stay in front of David Morrell.
David Morrell is part of the new breed of Cubans, rejecting the safety-first defensive postures of the old guard who first traveled across the water seeking fame and fortune. This generation brings power and excitement.
He's not as defensive as a lot of the Cuban fighters.
I mean, most Cuban fighters, you know, they move a lot, they use angles, they, you know, they stay on their feet and their toes.
Your Dennis Ugas is a very tricky fighter. A lot of elite Cuban fighters are very tricky.
I don't see him tricky at all.
Spence is pounding on the body of your Dennis Ugas.
I think y'all putting too much emphasis on that.
I mean, there's been guys who made a little name, but yeah.
Right uppercut. Oh, there's a sniper-like straight left hand.
David Benavidez, you know, here he is working with the legend Guillermo Rigondeaux, working on some footwork, man.
A lot of people, when they think about Cuban fighters, they think, oh, well, boxers, maybe a guy is boring. Like, people want to say Rigondeaux is boring, or they go, oh, Lara boxes a lot. This guy, Morrell, he'll take your head off.
I think he's more offensive minded.
He turns his head to the side so he doesn't get head-coated or anything like that.
You have guys that are slick boxers, you got the Rigondeaux and guys that are movers. But that being said, Morrell's a hunter, he's a shark.
Cuban school of thinking, and you also look at
Morrell, man, he's willing to take on anyone who's around, because that's the way you get to the top, and that's how you become a star.
Basing himself in Minnesota, building up a fervent fan base.
Cuban-born Morrell has adopted Minneapolis here as his hometown, and he has certainly been embraced by the fans here.
Brought Morrell right to Minnesota. The fans fell in love with him.
Morrell's aggressive, at times reckless style produced quick finishes as the 26-year-old escaped super middleweight to chase a dream.
All right, David, first fight at 175 pounds. How does that extra weight feel on you?
Man, I'm feel great. I'm feel great.
David Morrell coming back at 175. That move to 175 surprised me. Morrell going up so soon.
Yeah. Declaring himself as the legitimate monster previously attributed to Benavidez, the Santa Clara southpaw endured a rugged welcome to his new weight class when outpointing Radivoje Kalidic during Riyadh season.
This guy, I think he's the sleeping giant of boxing. David Morrell now challenges Hot Rod in a firefight for the 175-pound WBA championship. Tremendous talent from top to bottom.
He needs development. That's what this fight is. A southpaw. He moved up to light heavyweight in class of competition with Kalidic. Am I saying it right?
Radivoje Kalidic.
Oh, Radivoje
Kalidic. Yeah, there you go.
And they continue to trade. It goes down.
Radivoje Hot Rod Kalidic. 9 of his last 10 wins have been by KO.
All over. Say goodnight.
So you just got a big win over Sullivan Barrera. This is probably the biggest name on your resume.
And he just blasted Sullivan Barrera through the ropes back in March. And still, WBA Continental.
He's a slick guy. He's an experienced guy. He's got plenty of heart.
Well, yeah, I've been knowing Hot Rod for a long time. He's a good fighter. Of course, it's a step-up fight because, number one, moving to a new weight division with a guy with a lot of experience.
I believe he's one of the best at 168, and now he's in the light heavyweight weight class.
I just believe in my skill. I got the power, and I believe I fought better people. He's got the amateur experience, but we have a good game plan, and we're going to stick with it.
How would you describe your move up to 175?
This guy lands when he throws.
And he landed right there. First big left hand.
I know that this fight no fue mi mejor pelea.
There's a little short chopping right hand by Kalidic.
Hot Rod Gvozdyk
He's a good contender, know how to fight and face some credible guys.
Right now, he's in shape. He has a nice bounce on his feet.
Instead of the pocket and just unloaded with him.
Boxing, while hampered by the low California sun, Morrell had to turn all his focus on the man before him to step off and box and move to victory. Hot Rod refused to fall.
It was a good fight by Morrell, but again, he hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. And he was still standing at the end of the fight.
He got it as we go the 12 full rounds. David Morrell.
And what do you say to the critics who say that that wasn't your best performance?
I always think that when you're 168 going up to 175, you got a little bit more to deal with in terms of the strength. We saw David's last fight where the guy took a lot more than the guys at 168.
Neither one of them looked all that good at 175. Both went the distance. They were both knockout artists at 168. Both went the distance at 175.
And the reason is because they didn't have that size advantage at light heavyweight.
This matchup could just as easily have taken place at super middleweight, but both men are now 175-pounders, and visuals circulate of Benavidez looking notoriously big between camps.
What's your walk around weight right through camp?
Like 230, 240.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm playing with you. No, like 200 pounds.
200 pounds. Okay.
He was big. Even in the press conference, when I bumped into him, I was like, "Damn, boy, he must be like 200-some pounds right now."
Having gone the 12 rounds 4 times with 148 total career rounds, Benavidez's lifestyle has not yet impacted his stamina-sapping surges.
I feel like I had to fight more for my respect than other people because I was always fat. People would always clown on me. Right. But after I'd get in the ring, beat that ass, nobody be talking shit.
In just 11 pro fights since his 2019 debut, Morrell has participated in only 54 rounds. His 82% KO ratio displays the stats of a verified puncher.
Was the power the difference, or him being able to absorb your shots the difference?
He's turning southpaw.
His style is real, but I don't think it was a difference. I think personally, I just rose in the moment, and you can't do that. And when the moment comes, you gotta be in the moment. You gotta live for the moment.
This fight is over, and David Morrell with an impressive knockout win.
Hitting his 12th year as a pro, Benavidez's 83% ratio, compiled across 18 more fights, shows he knows how to end things fast himself.
He really can do it all.
Yeah, taking his time.
And left hook, unloading with blistering combinations.
I don't think Morrell has really been attacked because his opponents kind of shell up because he's so big, he's a southpaw, he's so forceful.
You know, Jamal James's trainers, and they're experienced guys, so they're gonna make sure he doesn't shoot.
He's always the hammer, he's never the nail.
A little showboating, he felt comfortable.
And I need to see how he responds when he's the nail and he's not the hammer.
You gotta have power to keep Benavidez off you, or it's not gonna work. What they call him, a monster.
The Mexican monster.
Who?
Benavidez.
He ain't no Mexican monster.
Everybody's scared of him. Nobody's fighting him.
You can't keep the monster off you, it's gonna be trouble. I see his turn. Yeah. Now let's go.
Man, today was a dream come true. I had the living legend, the man himself.
Hey, give them jewels to him, you heard me?
Give me the knowledge, man. I really appreciate you, bro. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, man.
Benavidez is an inch taller, but Morrell enjoys a 4-inch reach advantage. And aside from some potentially tentative early stages, it's likely these two will be inclined to negate these to stand inside and assert their dominance.
Benavidez has a long reach, almost 75 inches. This guy has 78. That's like heavyweight type long reach.
And he could box, and he range. He ain't got a lot of size on him too.
Despite his early finishes, Morrell has reached the 12th round 3 times, all on his terms. While both have slid comfortably into 175, the jury is out on how much power has carried north.
Now at light heavyweight, they're average now. They don't have that size advantage.
Trying to land power shots.
Because the 7 pounds is a major difference.
That's a little different. That's 75. You got a guy that's coming down from 200. So, you know, that weight difference is major.
Good right hand for Kalajic.
However, their dislike for one another means it should be a heated affair until someone melts.
And I'm not playing when I say I'm gonna break his mouth, because that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
You don't have power for this.
You don't have. I don't have power for this. I don't have power.
The break my mouth.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I'm breaking your mouth.
Morrell has the skills and intensity early, but has run out of ideas in some of his longer distance fights. Has he developed enough as a patient puncher to be ready for a style that requires experience and resilience?
Morrell likes to press. Morrell likes to press. I haven't seen him a lot on his back foot. We don't know if he can fight like that.
The thing about Morrell is he's a fighter. You know, he'll fight anybody. It doesn't make a difference to him who he fights. You know, he goes in and he does what he has to do.
Once Benavidez's engine cranks up, he can apply consistent pressure late on. David's fast-handed volleys catching Morrell between swings.
It's so much to handle. He really is that machine that was built to do it all.
Morrell may have more skills than he does, though.
Very true.
That's the one thing I worry about.
So Morrell definitely had an extensive amateur background, man. That Cuban school is one of the best ever.
They've had the greatest amateur team over there for the last, I don't know how many years, 40 years, whatever.
Again, sparkling amateur career. 135-2.
Yeah, that's almost impossible to do. This kid has done it.
Did you ever want to go to Olympics or anything like that?
Nah, so the thing about me, I only had 15 amateur fights.
The gym's closed, and you're the only kid in the gym working out, the only one.
So when you fight amateur, you have to make weight every day.
Right.
So I was not gonna do that, bro. I couldn't even make weight one time, so.
As a reputed amateur, Morrell is a better pure boxer, but Benavidez's big fight seasoning and proven mettle as a professional means his physical strength and pressure could be key.
What do you make of all the talk about his footwork and his athleticism?
He's just a special talent. A guy like this comes around every 25 years, okay? He can do it all, okay? He can punch, he can box.
Why won't that be enough for him?
I've been boxing 25 years. I've sparred a lot of boxers.
Keep an eye on this kid. He'll be top dog. He'll be champ. Mark my words. Thank you. Keep it up. Keep the hard work, kid.
I've fought a lot of boxers. I've worked with a lot of guys with footwork and foot movement. I mean, I'm sure it's going to help him in some cases, but at the end of the day, once I got him cornered up in the ring and he can't move, I mean, that stuff doesn't work.
And I'm not here to in any way honor the haters that you see online, but one of the things people bring up is we have a squared stance at all times.
Because you're calling him RoboCop. Why are you calling him like that?
Hand can move. You know, hand got nothing. For this,
well, he had to have something. He's undefeated.
It's if you take a look at the square stance, that's an art that not everybody could perfect.
Okay.
Julio Cesar Chavez did it to perfection.
I think Benavidez's IQ and defense is better than people give him credit for.
Benavidez can do a little bit of everything. You know, he can move and box if he wants to as well. You know, he can. I've seen him. So he can do a little bit of everything in there.
If you look at him real close, even when he does get hit, his hands are up. So the punches are going to have to go through his glove. He's deflecting a lot of the power of the punches off.
Benavidez has shown blinding hand speed, chilling accuracy, and grinding volume to chip away for 12 rounds.
Just like with Medina, he had one of them 10-punch combinations.
And is trying to bring it nice and alive.
I feel like I take more chances and try to put combinations better than all these other fighters. I don't worry about punching myself out because I know I got the stamina.
If Morrell chooses to evade, Benavidez finds angles, cuts off the ring, and counters.
Look at this guy. He's nervous, man. It's number one.
Increasingly comfortable coming forward, if Benavidez gets pushed into reverse gear,
Second round scheduled for 12. Andrade on the attack.
then things could quickly become interesting.
And then
this fight, he's going to come 100% ready. So I'm going to be ready for whatever David Morrell comes. You know, I know he has speed. I know he has power.
Kneeling too low down at the Canelo throne has left these dangerous dark horses shivering in the shadows, conveniently out of view as the Mexican master maneuvers his way around their respective threats.
I don't need to prove anything with anybody.
Man, I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm just gonna tell you that. I'm not gonna hold my breath on Canelo Alvarez ever facing Benavidez.
Because, you know, Canelo picks who he wants to fight.
Yeah, clearly we see that. You're fighting Munguia.
This fight with Jaime Munguia, you need to respect him because this fight is more important than other fights.
Munguia didn't see that punch coming. And then you got Berlanga. Keep fighting these guys that doesn't really bring value and wasn't even a world champion.
If boxing's pay-per-view Goliath intends to remain anonymous and continue avoiding the two Davids, they must look elsewhere for fame and fortune.
It's sort of like a round robin. To the winner of this fight, they position themselves for the big super fight with Beterbiev and the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev. So
Beterbiev and Bivol remain the marginally separable kings of the division, set to do battle again just weeks after this clash between two fast talkers who have developed a swift dislike for one another.
That leads into the next question. I know everybody wants to talk to you about fighting Canelo. I want to talk to you about fighting the winner of Bivol versus Beterbiev fight.
People are pressuring him to fight David Benavidez next. You sparred David Benavidez, you know him very well.
I sparred Benavidez, yes, and he is a good fighter. Yes, he has good skills.
That was the plan for this fight. You know, that's why I took this fight so easy, because I was already getting ready to fight Beterbiev or Bivol. You know, I was preparing for one of those two. So
I wouldn't mind seeing the Beterbiev in the winner of Morrell or Benavidez. And Benavidez is that guy, man.
Two angry lions ready to roar. Beef sizzling at the photo shoot.
What do you think you are? What do you think you are? You think you're scary?
And not a punch yet thrown in anger.
we already want to get in there and throw punches without the gloves. So imagine when we get in there with gloves after 3 months of training.
When the Latino temperature rises, tempers flare, disrespect deepens, and it becomes much more than a matter of the ring. Records and reputations are on the line in Las Vegas as Morrell tackles the monster for the right to be recognized as the new king of an era.
All boxing should applaud these two for stepping in the ring and deciding to fight each other at this point of their career where they're at their absolute prime. When the best fight the best at the best time, it's fucking magic.